It is an honor to welcome Nolan Smith of the national champion, back-to-back champs from the University of Georgia here to our recap. Nolan, I've got to tell you, man, I've been watching a lot of tape on different players, and I love watching the draft unfold, and it's a big time for the Chicago Bears. It's a new era for them. What would it mean to you if the Chicago Bears said, Nolan Smith is our guy?
Oh, it'll mean a lot to me just because, I know a couple guys up there. I know some guys that came from there, and they said it's an amazing organization to play for. And the starting quarterback, Justin Fields, he's a Georgia guy, so I rekindle with him. And it just feels really amazing.
Have you had a chance to get to know Justin at all, or have you talked to Justin at all?
Yes, sir. So we kind of went through the little recruitment process together. And, that was between him and Trevor Lawrence. Georgia wanted both of them, but they kind of wanted a little Justin Fields a little more just because he was athletic. It was something like we never had. And obviously, as you see in the NFL, he still shows those athletic traits.
So there's something on your Twitter feed. I got to read it to you. I don't want you to explain it. It says, too small, not strong enough, needs a lot of improvement. And you have that pinned at the top of your Twitter feed. Tell me why.
Just always remember where I came from, and people just will always say things about you. Never listen to the outside noise, and just always work. And that's what people always said about me when I came out. Even though I was a big time recruit, that was just one of the things that I was too small and that I just needed a lot of improvement. So I just kept that chip on my own shoulder and just never forgot it.
So there's a book called The Four Agreements that Tom Brady on a podcast I'm listening to says it changed his life. It's short. I keep it with me every day. It's in my bag. And I read it, and there's a term in there. It says, tune out the mitote. And the mitote is those 1,000 voices in your head that you're trying to please them rather than being you. And it sounds like you're a guy that's trying to stay loyal to you.
Yes, sir. I try to stay loyal to me, loyal to my family, small town kid, and just want to be family oriented. I'm a family oriented person, and just try to be myself and make everyone feel like they're in my family, especially if the Bears draft me. A lot of people would say that.
You are not going to the draft. I watched a couple interviews with you where you said, I want to be with my family that night. So explain that decision, because some people want that, the glare and the media and all of that. You'd rather have the people most important to you around you.
Yeah, just because my grandfather's old school. He don't think people should fly. And I just want him to be there just to see me get drafted because he meant so much to my life. And my grandmother will fly, but my grandfather is one of those people. He doesn't believe in planes. He doesn't want to fly. So I just wanted to do something in Atlanta so he can be there and see the big moment.
So if you do realize your dream and you're going to play in the National Football League, you think you get your grandfather on a plane?
Yeah, but he won't. I don't think he will. He told me that, if you want to go to Kansas, you can. So when he said you can, I understood that he's not going to go.
So as you look at your career, you're the number one recruit out of a huge school at IMG with great athletic traits. And yet when you got to Georgia, you had to sit behind other players first. Did you ever think about transferring, or did you ever think about going somewhere where you'd have started from day one?
No, I wanted to also challenge myself, and I wanted to go play SEC football. And that's just always one thing, like that pinned on my tweet. I just kept reading it, and I say, I'm not going to transfer. I'm going to play SEC football. I'm going to stick it out here and be the outside linebacker at the University of Georgia. I've seen a lot of guys come and go, but I didn't want to. I wanted to stick it out. Try to grind and just win something at home. I didn't want to be a part of another person's narrative or another person tied. And I wanted to create my own wave. And that's what we're doing at Georgia. And we got a bunch of guys that came with us, Trayvon, Nakobe, and Jordan Davis, Devontae Wyatt. We just wanted to start our own little wave.
So Khalil Mack is the guy that I hear you compared to. I've also heard Von Miller. I've heard Reddick. There's a bunch of guys. At 239, do you feel like you have to get bigger? Do you feel like you got to play at 250? Can you play at the weight you're at right now?
Yes, sir. So I usually play at 242, and I always play at that weight, and just because I want to fly around to the ball like my hair's on fire. and I'm just always lean, and I can do everything a 265 backer can do at 242, lock out, hold the edge, close on counters, serve, and chase down the quarterback, and also play in coverage. A lot of those big 260 backers can't get out there in coverage, but that's one of the elements to my game. Guys like me, Hashan Reddick, and Vaughn, just that pass rush element. That's one thing that I love to do, and just love to bend the corner and chase out the quarterback.
You mentioned bending the corner, and I saw some tape on you where it's amazing the bend that you have. You're almost parallel to the ground. Robert Quinn set the all-time single-season record for sacks for the Bears a year ago, and his bend was something that I remember listening to Alex Brown talk about. I've never seen a guy bend like that. Do you feel they could line you up on the line as a rush D end, or do you have to exclusively play backer?
No, they can line me up on the line at rush DN. That's something that I love to do. Me and a tackle one-on-one. Hope we get the man side. If we get the zone side, we'll try our best to still get a sack. That's one thing that I'm gonna try myself, challenge myself to do this season. Just get sacks and affect the quarterback. I was hurt towards the last part of my season, but I felt like I just had a good gist and that I was getting into it. And just the injury set me back. But now I'm back on track, and still working out and still trying to get stronger.
You are a guy who's going to come to Chicago. I think you're flying here on Sunday, correct?
Yes, sir.
And you'll be here for 2 days. What do you expect, and have you ever been to Chicago?
No, sir. I've never been to Chicago. Like I said, I'm a small-town kid. I only usually go to Savannah and Athens. So Chicago is a different world for me. Big city, a lot of moving parts. I wouldn't want to be in none of the moving parts, none of the moving areas. I try to find the rural areas, Chicago, that I want to live in. I could fish. I might have to make my own little makeshift pond in the back because, it's a humongous concrete jungle.
It is, but where the Bears are located is, probably a good 45 minutes north of the city, and that's where most of the players, like Justin, live up in that area. It does not feel like you're in a big city.
Yeah, then that makes me feel happy. But I was really excited just to go up there, meet the staff. I just heard tremendous things about them, tremendous things about the coaches and that organization, and just can't wait to sit down and meet everyone.
So if a Bears fan is watching this, and trust me, they will, what would you say to them about what they'd be getting in Nolan Smith if he's lined up in blue and orange next year?
Oh, just know they're going to get a guy that at least I'm out there to do something. I'm not just out there on the field. I'm not just trying to take up space. I'm coming on to make sacks, TFLs, and just hold myself to a high standard of just playing the game the Georgia way and like I played for 4 years, and just try to transition that element and, also learn my roles and my keys for the defense, and just know they're going to have a guy that's just going to fly around, have a lot of juice, and just be fun to look at.
What number would you play at or play in the NFL? I know you've had different numbers. Weren't you 42 in high school?
Yes, sir. I was 42 in high school. That was a family number, and
Yep.
I was the first person to go to college from my family, so I dropped the 2 and just kind of created my own little narrative. But I really don't care. It doesn't matter to me. I feel like you make the number doesn't make you.
Do you know much about the Chicago Bears? Have you done any homework so that when you walk in and sit down with Ryan Poles and Matt Eberflus, if they ask you a question, yeah, I know that about the Bears?
I did a little homework on all the teams, and certain GMs, certain owners ask you questions about their guys on the team now and guys on the team that they had in the past, and head coaches bring up old guys. So yes, sir. So I did a little homework and research on them.
Have you ever watched tape on the 1985 Chicago Bears? They say that's the greatest defense in the history of the NFL.
No, I haven't watched tape on there. I wasn't alive then. I was 6 years before I was even thought about. So I need to turn it on, though, now that you said that, just to watch it. Hopefully it got some color and it's not in black and white.
Yeah, if you just go out and Google the NFL Films 1985 Chicago Bears, you're going to watch it and you are going to fall in love with the idea of being in this city, because I personally believe, I'm biased, I grew up here, it's the greatest sports city in America.
Yeah, Roquan told me that. Roquan said the fans there are amazing. The city there is amazing. Summertime and springtime there is just beautiful. He told me it's like Georgia, except 10 times better because it doesn't have any bugs.
Yeah, we don't get a lot of bugs up here. What did Roquan say now that he's not here anymore and we all liked him as, a star for the Bears? How recently did you get to talk to him?
I talked to him recently just through my draft process. He was out there in LA working out. We signed with the same agency, and we went to the same school. And he said, if you able and blessed to go to that organization, you're going to love it. They have the same ideas and thinks the same as Georgia. And I just think, I will. And I can't wait for my visit Sunday just to see it and call him and tell him he was right.
So I watched the tape of you running your 40, and then they superimposed DeAndre Hopkins and Stephon Diggs and Saquon Barkley and Christian McCaffrey, and you were faster than all of them. You're 242 pounds. You run a 4.39. What is that like to sit back and go, wow, I outran some really fast dudes?
I haven't had the time to sit back and think about it yet. It'll probably be a little bit later in my career just because, we're on the go now. And I'm worrying about the next thing and attacking the next thing. And that's rehab for me and being 100%.
How is the pec? I know you had a torn pec, and I was watching you on Pat McAfee, and you said, yeah, I'm about to get cleared.
Yes, sir. So Saturday, tomorrow, 2:00, I should be cleared. And I'm 100% going to be doing pull-ups and dips, not weighted pull-ups and dips, just because I know they're going to have some criteria and parameters set on me. But, oh, man, I just can't wait to go out there and just really lift in the gym how I want to without being, handcuffed.
You were also, correct me if I'm wrong, were you not the juice coach after you got injured? What did that mean to be the juice coach for Coach Kirby Smart?
Oh, just making sure the guys always have great juice, but just making sure it's positive juice. Certain times, it gets bad during games and it's ebbs and flows to every football game. But I'm going to just let them know, they make good plays, but we make better ones, and we got to make more plays than them.
So I watch as much college football as I can, and Ohio State is kicking a field goal to knock out Georgia. Take me to that moment and what is going through your mind.
Well, I have my composure card in my hand, and I'm just thinking, if it's the time to be composed, it's now. And I was just gripping that card and just holding it, thinking, composure. And then as soon as the kick went, all my composure went out the window because I seen it went wide left, and I immediately ran down the sideline and just hugged guys, and it was just amazing. And I didn't even, some people say it was New Year's way before that. My New Year's didn't start till that kick went across the end zone.
Because that's everything that you put so much into physically and mentally, right?
Yes, sir. Mentally, it was a mental part for me at that point. And I say the coaches put a humongous mental part into it, and they're stressed.
So you also had something I believe I read it in an article about you. You said, if you take care of the small things, the big things will take care of themselves. What does that mean?
If we do the little things right, like strike block, stop the run, and don't give up any explosive plays, I'm talking about defense, man, we'll be amazing. If we limit those big plays and stuff like that and just take care of the small things and we all focus on being on one page, it's just a great thing. And I imagine that's what the 95 Bears look like.
85,
I'm sorry.
85, way back. What is the rivalry like between you and Alabama, being a Georgia player who's won 2 straight? Coach Saban's this legendary guy, and you guys have gotten the last 2. What is that like?
It feels good, but you can't never count Bama out. And Coach Saban's always going to be in it. I'm not going to give him any clickbait to put up because I know how SEC coaches are. Any media thing they can to put on clickbait, but they have a great program, and we 100% see them again in the SEC championship. I'm sure about that, and I just can't wait to go to that game.
Connection, composure, discipline, and toughness. Is that who you are?
Yes, sir. Just as a person, and that's what we are. That's what we were as a team when I was at Georgia.
So, as you look at your career to date, what is the goal you have? Is it, I just want to say I'm an NFL player, I want to be a Super Bowl champion, I want to go to a Hall of Fame? What is it that beats inside you?
Yeah, I'm a ring chaser, so I'm chasing those rings. I I could care less about the individual accolades, and that's just, I guess, the program that I come from. But winning a ring and having a tie with that brother that you played with all year, and you can call him 20 years from now, like, man, just let me see your ring, man. You got your ring on, I got mine right here. And it's crazy. It's way better. Just when you go in the Hall of Fame, you can look in your closet at a gold jacket and you can be like, wow. But when you look at that ring and know how much sweat that your team and everyone in your organization put into that, it's unbelievable. I can't describe it.
Right. It's a brotherhood. It's not an individual thing.
Yes, sir. It's a brotherhood. And also I say my ultimate individual goal, just play 10 years in the league. I say just play long time, just because the NFL is not for long. And I just love proving people wrong. That's one thing that I pride myself on, and I want to be in there for a long time.
I was looking at one of your outfits you were wearing, and you had Louboutins on. Now, take it from a guy whose wife loves Louboutins. I've bought her too many pairs of Louboutins. How did you like wearing those Christian Louboutin dress sneakers? Because those were cool as hell.
Yeah, man, they're amazing. I always just when my freshman year, when I seen red bottoms and a lot of guys at Georgia wear red bottoms, I was like, yeah, I guess that's a Georgia thing. I like my bottom to be red just because I'm a dog. And you can never see it. Sometimes they make spectacular shoes, but other times they make simple shoes that you don't even know they're red bottoms.
Yeah, those things were cool. And with the suit, you know what you need to get, though? If you come to Chicago, we wear Jordans here.
Really? Oh, man. I'm a Jordan fan, but I really too much don't wear Jordans. I'm a big Hoka guy. I'm wearing a lot of Hokas now.
Hokas are the most comfortable shoes out there.
Yeah, they're amazing.
So what do you do to stay in shape besides the obvious? You're in the gym. You're weightlifting. Are you a hiking guy? What do you do to just burn off calories and just stay in shape?
I usually run 2 miles almost every day, just mentally. It's just for my mental, and I just like to get out there and run. I'm an outdoors person, and just let my Apple Watch go. Sometimes I do headphones. Other times I don't do headphones. Some people call me crazy for not doing the headphones, but it's just to get me going and just get my mind free. That's really why I don't do headphones. And just to run, feel free, and something that I like to do. And also hiking as well.
Last couple things for you. Have you ever had deep dish pizza? Because Chicago is the capital of deep dish pizza.
Yeah, no, not real deep dish pizza like Chicago and that New York area. So I'm not going to say that. The deep dish pizza that I had was from Little Caesars, and it was amazing. It was for $8, and that's the only deep dish pizza I had.
Wait till you get to Chicago and you get Lou Malnati's. That's authentic deep dish.
Yes, sir. I'll make sure I tell them to take me by that spot.
Your favorite sports? Are you a sports guy? Do you walk into a hotel room, you're on a road trip, you got some time, you can flip the TV on. First channel you're putting on is what?
I usually put on the housing channel, and if I'm not putting on the housing or Discovery channel, yeah, I'm watching baseball. I love baseball. A lot of people think it's slow. I'm a Yankees fan. No offense against the Chicago organization up there. If they do draft me, but I love the Yankees. I was just a Derek Jeter fan, and just the way he led men without, commanding he commanded a lot of respect just by the things that he did and the way he went about the game.
Yeah, he wasn't worried about limelight. He just let his play speak for himself.
Yes, sir.
Kind of like the way you play. Music, if you're working out or going on a run and you're going to listen to music, what are you putting on?
Oh, yeah, Rod Wave right now. Rod Wave's an R&B singer, and I just listen to Rod Wave, and, he's big down here in the South. He's from Florida, and it's just his music. I feel like it touched me, reach out to me. It's not that rapping, other rap music, hype music. It's just like a nice mellow, he kind of sings to you a little bit.
Before I let you go, did you ever see the movie Draft Day?
Yes, sir.
You remind me of Vontae Mack. Have you ever heard that?
Oh, no, I never heard that comparison. That's a new one.
I mean, he was a linebacker. You're a linebacker. He was a leader. You're a leader. Yeah.
Yes, sir. I really appreciate that, though. That's the first time, someone said that. So thank you.
There you go. So remember, on Draft Day, it'll be Nolan Smith no matter what, okay?
Yes, sir.
Best of luck to you. Travel safe to Chicago. And Here's hoping that at pick 9, that's where they sit. Chicago selects Nolan Smith. Who are the teams that have shown the most interest in you, by the way?
A lot of teams show interest and text far as asking for interviews and just me flying out. So I got a lot of teams on board right now. And
who have you visited?
As far as right now, I visited Tampa, Jacksonville, and the Baltimore Ravens, and then I visit New England Patriots. So it's been some great organizations. They were all amazing. I say thank you for having me, and I just can't wait to go to Chicago and put my best foot forward for them.
Best of luck to you, Nolan, and I look forward to meeting you if you're up here for, to be a Chicago Bear.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me, and y'all take care.
You too. God bless.
God bless.